Good grief. All right. Let's see. Everything looks different. I don't understand. Why did they do this? I don't even know if my voice is showing. Hold on. If you are here and you are listening, we are experiencing technical difficulties and we're trying to figure some stuff out. So give me just a moment to make sure this is all popping up the way it's supposed to. This is weird, man. Give me just a moment. Okay. I think we got something here. Hold on. Hold on, I'm at the two. Brad Austin. Oh, I got you in a second, Brad. Hey, Brad, if you listen, appreciate you. Hold on. Still trying to fix some stuff up. Hold on. I don't even know if the stream name is popping up the way it's supposed to. How do you know if the stream is... Okay, the One Cut Podcast, episode 7. Okay, tapping. Okay. All right, I think we here now. I think we got it fixed. No promises, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the chat. Let y'all know that we live. And yeah, I guess we'll get to it. Let me see. I feel like this is the first time or something, man. Jesus. All right. Oh boy, man. This this reminds me of taking a week off from the gym and you try to go into the gym and you just try to go lift. Just reckless abandon. You in there just throwing up weight. You doing every exercise. You doing everything. Full body. It just whatever. That's how I feel coming into this right now. I just came off of a long vacation for my standards. Usually I don't go anywhere, but we went somewhere. Left up out of town. For a military competition, but I had the beautiful missus with me, so it was a grandiose time. Oh, I gotta get the juices flowing, man. What music we listening to tonight, man? What song are we back on? Let me see. I know what song we can do. I don't even know if y'all be able to hear this, but we gonna do this song right here. Hold on, that is an ad because my iTunes doesn't work. Let me see. Hold on. Since when did they start running 3-minute ads on YouTube? Let me see. There we go. Yep. Welcome back. Feel good right here. I know a lot of y'all young people don't know who this person is. This is Mace, Pastor Mace. Nah, man. The SFL is back. EA thought they could hold us down. They thought they could keep us back, but no. My God is an awesome God. He brought us back from the dead. We is back. The SFL, the refresh, the reboot, whatever you want to call it. Regardless, we are back, live and direct. And we gonna go ahead and turn this off because we got some stuff to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, because boy, we have some children in the league now. Goodness gracious. Children of all ages, welcome back to the SFL, rebooting, refreshing, restarting. Womp womp. Hello, one, and hello, all. For those that don't know, this is your boy Steps, aka the Minnesota Vikings owner. If you can see the screen, you can see Vikings highlighted purple all over the place, so you know who I am. Hello. Hope y'all have been well. It's been 2.5, maybe 3 full weeks since I've heard from y'all. Y'all have heard from me. Pretty much, this is the first time we've actually talked to each other since 2023 started. So hello, y'all. I'm glad y'all made it another year. Welcome. And thank you all for joining me this evening. Or if you're joining me on YouTube right now, shame on you for missing this live. But thank you for joining me regardless. I appreciate you. Get the views up. Hit tap, like, and subscribe. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't worry about all that. Don't do all that. Please don't. Don't even make that a joke. Y'all got enough jokes about me already. Shout out to Canada. And shout out to my Asians. I know y'all are out there. I love y'all. But anywho, we are back with the One Cut Podcast. This is episode 7. We're going to call this the refresh because we are refreshing some things in the league that I'm going to go over this evening. I'm going to talk about some not really rule changes. Maybe I guess you can classify them as rule changes. And then we also have some developmental changes. We got some roster changes. We have a slew of things that we're changing up so that this iteration of, I guess, the second edition of season 1 is a little more eventful, a little more different, a little more new. And just the rest of this cycle, we're just going to have fun with it. We didn't want to just bring it back and bring back the same old regular, so we changed it up just a little bit. We added some tweaks, which y'all have already kind of started seeing, and we wanted to bring it back so that people that are dedicated users to this league that have been here can actually feel like this is different, this is fresh, and this is going to keep their interest. So thank you all for coming back, for joining us. I thought we would have a large amount of turnover because that was a significant wait. I already know, like, Krim was already just on edge for a little bit during that time frame. Like, you know what I'm saying? Turk almost quit, but a little change, a little something brought him back. I honestly thought Julian was going to be up out of here because the last restart or the last stop and then start kept him on edge and he was thinking not coming back. So I'm just glad everybody made it. We all made it. We even got people on the waiting list that seemed like they would be good additions if they have to join in. So thank you all for returning back to the SFL. Much love to y'all. But without further ado, let's get down to business. So let's talk about something real quick. Why did we have to restart? If you've been living under a rock, if you've just been completely deaf and blind to the whole situation, then you don't quite understand what's going on right now. And that's okay. That's okay. Me, Steps, I don't judge you. I understand we all have lives. I understand some of y'all don't care about what happens in the chats more than most of y'all. That's okay. I'm here to bridge the gap with a brief synopsis. Okay, you ready? Okay, listen closely. All right, because I'm going to give you a lot of information in a short amount of time. All right, you ready? EA sucks. That's it. EA sucks, okay? Essentially, the way in which they conduct business in their programming and not to completely nerd out, because I got some actual lingo and stuff, but I'm not going to go there. Just know that the way in which their processes work with tech failed. And that's why we're having to restart. Because they screwed up. They should have had backups, but they deleted the backups because somebody screwed up. So when you have something screwed up with the league and you don't have backups, everything gets destroyed. So that's why we're having to restart. Simple and easy, right? There's a lot more that goes to that, but we're not going to get flagged on YouTube or anything like that, so we're not going to go into all of that stuff, so don't even worry about it. Just know that we're back, we're live, and we're direct. The other league is going to stay put because you never know. There might be a falling star in the sky sometime within the next few weeks and we might end up going back. Who knows? All I know is that this very moment, this is where we're at. We're restarting. We got a fresh edition of the league. We got some changes. We got some team changes too. That's the first change. We're going to go into that in a minute. But first and foremost, this is what most of y'all have come for. This is what most of y'all have tuned in to tonight's edition of the One Cut Podcast by your boy Steps. This is what y'all have come to hear and to digest. We have implemented a number of changes. And when I say we, I mean Q, and we have just gone along with it. But, hey, most of these changes are going to be well-liked additions, in my opinion. Maybe some y'all might have qualms about. Regardless, that is on you whether or not you feel a certain way or not. But the main idea behind it all was all good intentions, just to provide a fresh start for all of us. So let's talk about some of these new changes that are being implemented to the SFL just for this cycle. So don't get it twisted. This is not a forever thing. Just for this cycle, let's talk about what's different. Okay. If y'all got a notepad and a pen, or if you got your phone and your phone apps, or if you want to tell a friend something, write this down. Keep this in your mind, because I know there's going to be questions about it later. And I'm like, go to the podcast and listen. All right? This is it. So first things first. Number 1, the first change we're doing. Unlimited trades this cycle. You heard me right. No more worrying about the number of trades you have left in stock because of your activity level. No more worrying about the trades you have in stock based on winning the SFL Pick'em, based on winning a championship. None of that. Unlimited trades. Unlimited trades. So for those people like me that enjoy themselves some trading, have fun. Go crazy. Okay? Next thing, because we're going to go down this list and we're going to go keep it moving because we got a whole nother segment to do. Max XP sliders for the cycle. You heard me right. Just like with season 1 last time, when we had the stop and start and we had the XP sliders maxed out to the high heavens and everybody kept playing and getting all these rookies and we're doing it for the rest of the cycle. Max XP sliders for the cycle. That's what's happening. Number 3. This one y'all have already kind of noticed and seen in all of that when y'all signed in and looked at your teams. But we have updated rosters based on the Week 17 rosters. Okay? So you got your rosters, and they got a little tweaking update to what the Week 17 is. So when people went to do their team draft, which we'll be talking about in just a little bit, when people went to sign into their teams and to look at the league and to see their teams and see the new players on there, or the players gone, or the picks gone and stuff like that, that's why. Week 17, whatever the rosters were then, that's what we're playing with now. Okay, number 4. Any team, now hear me out this one. This one's a little tricky, but we're gonna make sense of this, okay? Any team that does not have a superstar to start the season can pick 2 of their top 5 players to make into a superstar. All right. So, teams that do not have superstars to start this cycle can pick 2 players on their team to make into superstars. For example, you see the Chicago Bears right here on the screen? No superstar X factors, no superstars. Guess what? He gets to pick 2 of his players and make them into superstars right now. I think another team is like the Texans or somebody. Let me see. Let's see. I think it's the Texans. All right. The Houston Texans. You get to pick 2 players that you have, and you get to make them into superstars. 2 of them. And just for clarity, not just 2 players, 2 of their top 5 players. Okay, so not like you can't pick somebody that's like, oh, he's a rookie, he's a 68 overall, to make him a superstar, unless he just so happens to be top 5 on your roster, which I don't think anybody has that. You can pick 2 of your top 5, make them a superstar. So congratulations to them 2, because I think they're the only 2 teams that start off without superstars. Looks like that is yes. All right, so Bears, that's LB, and the Texans, that's Brad. Congratulations to y'all. Both of y'all will be able to pick 2 of your top 5 players and make them into superstars. God bless you. The next thing, write this one down too. We're going to break this one down if we have to. Each team can pick 2 players, okay? So this is everybody. Each team can pick 2 players that are currently on their team, and you can make them into the highest potential that they were last cycle, or not last cycle, but this past Madden that was deleted, like the past league that was deleted. You can make two of your players into the highest development that they reached in that Madden, in that season, in that league. So, for example, Justin Herbert out the box was a superstar. Q progressed him to an X Factor in the last league. Starting this league back up, I believe Herbert was back to a superstar. Q can pick that player, Justin Herbert, and move him back to an X Factor so he can get his X Factor quarterback back. Another example, whoever has the Tennessee Titans, Jeffrey Simmons became an X Factor with me as the Vikings. Okay? So I had Justin Simmons or Jeffrey Simmons, excuse me, my bad. And I made him into an X Factor. The Tennessee Titans can pick Jeffrey Simmons, if he's a superstar and that's it, and move him back to an X Factor. And each team can pick two players that had that like kind of deviation. They can pick two players to move them back if they want to. Okay? Now, there's going to be deadlines with a whole bunch of this stuff. Q and the rest of the admins are going to share all that information. I'm just bringing the good news, okay? I'm just the deliverer of the good news. So people that felt cheated, that, man, I worked this player all the way up from a star to an X Factor, and now I got to restart it. You can pick that player along with another player of your choosing and move them back to whatever development trait they were with the other league. God bless y'all as well. Okay, next thing, active list. So the active list is going to change. The active list in the past, for those that weren't aware, was more so for trades and more so for just overall recognition of people that are either winning in the Super Bowl or winning the SFL Pick'em or deemed the most active and all this and that. Like, it was just kind of stuff like that. We're changing it. So for this cycle only, the active list is going to be for, hear me closely, okay? We're going to break this down if we have to. The active list is going to be for users being able to cut one player on their roster with no cap penalty. You get to have all the savings and no cap penalty. Okay? I will say that again. Users that make the active list will be allowed to cut one player off of their roster, and no penalty will come of it. So if you go, let me just do an example real quick, because I want y'all to make sure y'all fully understand this, because I already know there's going to be questions and I'm not going to have answers later. So let's just say, for instance, perfect. Kirk Cousins on my team is $15 million in savings and he is $22.7 million in penalty. Let's say those numbers were the same after I made the active list. I could cut Kirk Cousins at that moment that I choose after making the active list. I can save $15 million and I would get a penalty of 0. That is going to be awesome for some of y'all, because some of y'all are in cap, you know what. So this is going to give y'all a little extra incentive to continue to be active, continue posting wonderful team posts, joining the podcast, doing something different. We're not doing the SFL Pick'em because, in my opinion, I don't feel like the SFL Pick'em is something like long term. And then this, like, I don't feel like it's like strong enough for this. Like, I feel like the Pick'em needs a better reward. But at the same time, this is still something impactful, right? Being able to cut somebody that has a horrible contract that maybe you don't want to hold them that long. Like, for instance, if I make the active list, guess who's gone? I don't even have to move the cursor. He's out of here. He's 33 years old, going to be 34. He's got like 3 years left on his deal. He's out of here. I'm not wasting my cap space on this guy when I'm not even going to start him after this year. So stuff like that, being able to kind of maneuver and work your roster a little bit more to where you're able to save some money and you're able to make different plans with your roster than you did last Madden or last season or whatever you want to call it. Like that's impactful. So guys, keep being active. Yes, you're gonna have your unlimited trades. Keep being active because you will get this perk. This is a wonderful, beautiful perk. And like honestly, when this was shared, when this was shared, I voted no. I voted no because I was like, I can see, like in my mind, I didn't say it, but in my mind, I was like, yo, this could get kind of crazy because some of these people need to learn how to work their cap, but they're going to use this and still not know how to work their cap, and they're going to get themselves in other kind of trouble. But Q was adamant that this would be a part of the whole refresh, and I'm going to take advantage of it because I plan on being active. Y'all hear me live and direct right now. I'm working towards it right now. I hope that y'all will take advantage of this because this is a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that Q has been gracious enough to allow us to have this type of perk if we can get active. Okay, so here is the next things. I know for sure that users like TRC are going to love this because I've actually fielded a question from him in regards to XP sliders and, developments and stuff like that. So, check this out. The pools for the stars and superstars and X factors are all being increased. Now, what does that mean? So typically, for those that don't know, typically in the CFMs, you are able to set a number of like what are they called? Like players you can get in regards to like how many superstars you can have, how many X factors you can have in the league at one time, and stuff like that. So what does this mean? What does it mean that you're increasing these different things? Well, let me show you. We are maxing out the amount of X factors, the superstars, and the star players we are allowed to have in the XFL. Or, excuse me, XFL. In the SFL. Jesus. I was looking at an article from the XFL right before this, and yeah, so disregard. But the star players, the superstars, the X factors are all maxed out. You see it. I'm showing it to you. I'm literally giving you the sauce. It's right here in your face. 75 of 75, 100 of 100, 500 of 500. That's what's happening. We are doing this, okay? We are maxing out. We're going to get crazy with it. This is what Q wanted, and this is what we're doing. We're getting crazy with it. Now, will this change somewhere down the line? Who knows? We'll see. We just got to see how it turns out. Right now, we're just having fun in experimental mode, just trying to keep it fresh for y'all, man. That's all. We're trying to give y'all a little extra incentive to keep playing, to be here. Okay, we can't do make rights. And for those that don't know, make rights is okay, we screwed up, so we're gonna give you this. EA can't give us make rights for franchise. They did give us 50% off of the next Madden. God bless them. Still not enough in my opinion. But for us to y'all, we can't do nothing but give y'all different ways of succeeding and different ways of developing your teams and different ways in which could be potentially fun for y'all. So giving y'all the maximum amount of X factors, the maximum amount of superstars, the maximum amount of stars, that was a way in which we decided we wanted to roll. Well, mainly Q. But still good stuff. I like this one. Okay, I think this is a great addition, and I can't wait to see how broken some people's teams get. Because that's ultimately what I love. I love to see teams like broken. So I look forward to seeing this and seeing how this plays. This also gives a little, like, things that I've mentioned also gives a little more credence to trading draft picks, because who knows, we might run 2-3 seasons, maybe a fourth if people are just super thirsty still, which I can personally see it happening still. I can see us running a fourth. But even with the shortened seasons, we can still trade the draft picks and they'll be actually worth something. Because that was my main concern, is whether or not these draft picks were still going to be worth anything. And seeing these changes that Q was implementing, I can see all those things still being worth it. So I love these changes. The last one is something I've been clamoring for the longest. This last one is my personal favorite because I have been personally screwed by the snap, even though I have had like I've had this across the board, and I got screwed from the snap. So I am a fan of this. Last one. Whomever wins Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year gets a development upgrade. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. If I had a church song queued up, I'd play it and I'd be stomping across the room, praise dancing, everything. Thank you. There is zero reason why, if you win a Offensive or Defensive Player of the Year, or MVP, or any of those high level awards, that you should not get a development trait. Madden should have that programmed. Hey, this player played exemplary for the entire season, and he was recognized as the best player at that position, or at that off side of the ball, or in that class. They played exemplary. They are now one of the faces of the league in some capacity. I want to see that going forward in Madden. I don't want this to just be a refresh idea for us to run now. I want that to be a forever thing. And then eventually I want to see it expanded. If you win best running back, maybe not get a development upgrade, but if you had a development upgrade through, like, right before the snap happens, because, you know, there is an increase of a development if your player was, like, super good and shining and stuff, and then the snap happens to kind of reset the landscape. I want to see that development upgrade that happens before the snap maintain itself, even if the snap snaps it down. I want to eventually see that. That's what I've been mainly clamoring for. I don't know if Q will ever get to that point of wanting to see that too, but I think this is a good step in that direction, and I think he'll see positive things from this to where maybe he'll want to keep this. At least that's what I hope. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, now, the very, very final thing that was happening, and this is something that I thought wasn't going to be even fun. I honestly thought this was going to be something like, okay, maybe like 5 or 6 people, maybe like 6 or 7, maybe 10 at most. We had 16 people. You know I had to tune in for most of this. I was on vacation and I was still looking at my phone. So we had allowed for teams that, or users that were usering teams, to throw themselves and their teams back into a team draft pool, and then for a randomization of user picks to come through, and then after the randomization, people were able to then pick their teams based on their draft order. And I thought that was a fantastic idea, something that I mentioned to Q offline, something that Cody had mentioned to Q offline, and Q implemented it. I love it. I love this. Now, I didn't think there were going to be that many people to be involved, and I was questioning why some people were involved in this, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But regardless, I thought this was a fantastic idea, and I am so glad Q did this, because I see some changes, and it's got me thinking that there's going to be some changes in the division standings, and there's going to be some changes in the playoffs, and I love it. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. So this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this draft order, okay? So first and foremost, let's just go through who got who, what team, and let's go through what team they came from and what team they're going to, all right? So we had 16 users in the draft pool. With the first pick, it was Castro. Castro had the Denver Broncos. They had the first pick. They picked the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 2 was Dylan. He came from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He went to the Arizona Cardinals. Schwartz, at pick number 3, had the Bears. He switched over to the Colts. Meeks had the Atlanta Falcons, and he switched to the Jets. TRC had the Tennessee Titans, and he switched to the Steelers. Malik had the Carolina Panthers, and switched to the Washington Commanders. LB had the Arizona Cardinals. He switched to the Bears. Bird had the Las Vegas Raiders, and he switched to the Tennessee Titans. OG Walker had the New York Jets and switched to the Las Vegas Raiders. Bryce had the New England Patriots and switched to the Atlanta Falcons. JD had the Washington Commanders, and he switched to the New Orleans Saints. Cody had the Cincinnati Bengals, and he switched to the New England Patriots. Mike had the Indianapolis Colts. He switched to the Carolina Panthers. Stacks had the Houston Texans, switched to the Los Angeles Rams. Gabe had the New Orleans Saints, and he switched to the Denver Broncos. And then Brad had the Los Angeles Rams, and he switched over to the Houston Texans. Okay. Oh man, this is beautiful. I love this so much. I love the change. I love this is the fresh this is the refresh that I wanted, okay? I wanted to see complete upheaval of how this league looks, and this is it right here. There's so much different. Like I'm just looking at these teams in the stand. Like look at this, man. Like you got some divisions of death, and you got some super weak divisions, and all of it just looks really fun. Like some of these divisions look like they're going to be just so much fun to watch and to see how the playoffs shape out. So before we get to that, because I'm going to talk about that in a second, before we get to that, let's talk about this team draft. Because boy, this was great for some of y'all, and this was horrible for the others. Whoo-hoo. Boy, I had a good laugh at some of y'all's expenses. God bless you. I'm so sorry, but I did. I did. First and foremost, let me tell y'all two of my winners from this team draft. Let me tell you two of my losers. Okay? Obviously, and this is easy, the winner of this draft by far was Castro. By far. Now, first and foremost, the Bengals being out there, I have questions. And now I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the fact that he was able to go from the Denver Broncos, who had a lot of promise going into this Madden, and then the update completely slashed that roster. I think they have a 74 overall X Factor quarterback that is like 30 something years old. As soon as that snap hits, oh God bless. Oh, let me go see. Let me see how disgusting that is. Broncos. Ooh, 77 overall. And he's a superstar. Oh, that's sick. Oh. Oh. Oh, and that cat penalty. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Well, Castro was able to escape that. And he was able to switch over to possibly the best team in the SFL. And all he had to do was gamble. He had a 1 in 16 chance. I don't know what that is, fraction is percentage wise, but he had a 1 in 16 chance of getting one of the best teams in the league, and he got the best team in the league. Congratulations to Castro. You are the biggest winner of everybody in this draft. Now let's talk about the second winner. Now y'all may disagree with this, but I personally feel like this was a great pick for the spot that this person was in. Like this could not have worked out better for them. And I'm talking about TRC and getting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Y'all don't understand that Pittsburgh Steelers defense is pretty real looking on Madden. And they didn't go number 2, they didn't go number 3, and they didn't go number 4. They went number 5. TRC got picked number 5 and got possibly the second best team in the draft. That is a win. And if you've seen TRC's play style, that Titans team is not that different than what this Pittsburgh Steelers team is. A running back that's a bruiser, although he's got to work out his abilities and stuff like that. He doesn't have the X Factor freight train, but that he has a good bruising running back. He's got a young quarterback. He can work with Kenny Pickett. And he's got a solid defense, a solid defensive line, decent linebackers, great secondary. He goes from Biard, which y'all have made fun of me for not being able to pronounce this man's name, to Minka Fitzpatrick, which I am very jealous about. God bless you. That is awesome. That is an awesome pick. That fell into his lap, pause, and it worked out so well. Congratulations, TRC, the second winner. Now let's talk about these losers, because boy, honestly, I had 4 losers, and I had to pick from the 4. One of them was very obvious. The other one, I was juggling, and I finally just came to a decision. The biggest loser of this is Cody and the Cincinnati Bengals letting them go. Why? And he ended up getting the New England Patriots. Now let's talk real quick. So it's not much so about the New England Patriots, because honestly, I don't think the New England Patriots have that bad of a roster. Okay, I have my questions about this team in general, but he could have done a lot worse with picking a team. Like he didn't get the Broncos, he didn't get the Texans, which we'll get into that in a minute. He got the New England Patriots, okay? And this team is not bad. You can build it up pretty well. He's got some decent cap space. He has, decent pass rush. He's got decent across the board, right? But the issue isn't that he got the Patriots. The issue is that he relinquished one of the top 5 teams in the SFL. Oh man, that was head scratching. I feel like if you're tired of using a team, then that's fine. But Cody is an avid Cincinnati Bengals fan, and he relinquished the team. He relinquished the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I don't know if he's running from Ed, which, yes, I'm starting that narrative. I think this was him running from Ed. That's what I think. Respectfully. I'm sorry, Cody, if you're out there listening. I do feel like this is why you left the Cincinnati Bengals. But at the same time, I feel like if you get a chance to use your favorite team and your favorite team is stacked, why would you go? Why would you leave? It doesn't make much sense to me. So I feel like Cody did this because he didn't want to face Ed, and I feel like that makes him the biggest loser. With all due respect, because Cody is my guy. I like Cody a lot. But this was a bad move. He should not have relinquished the Cincinnati Bengals. He should have maintained his hold on them and just kept it moving. If he didn't like the team, if he didn't like the roster, if he didn't like facing Ed, figure it out some other way. Don't release this team because now you're stuck with the Patriots. Ugh. Disgusting. Now, the second biggest loser. Now, this one is kind of ticky-tacky, but it's my personal opinion on this one, okay? I think this did not play out well for this person. Again, this is my opinion, okay? Gabe getting the Denver Broncos, to me, which I like that defense, but that team is going to be in a world of hurt. He went from one team that was in cap trouble to another team that is going to be in the world of hurt as soon as Russell Wilson he evaporates next season. This did not work out well for Gabe. Especially with the new things that we're implementing and stuff. He could have made this Saints team work. Yes, the Saints team is not as good because of us using the Week 17 rosters, right? But he could have had Chris Olave, right? He could have had him shining. He could have had Alvin Kamara, still him, right? I mean, quarterback, it was still the same. We knew that the quarterback situation was trash. I mean, left tackle is a little better. Cameron Jordan's still good. I mean, Davenport's going to leave soon, but, the Saints team is not bad. Demario Davis is still him. He's an X factor. Pete Warner's a little better. Lattimore is still him. I mean, you could make this team work. You can't. That Broncos team is going to be so difficult to make work. It's going to be so difficult. You get Justin Simmons, you get Patrick Surtain, who is a monster. Don't get me wrong. And you got some pieces here and there. But there's just so many issues. This is a bad contract, right? And where is he? This is also this is a horrible contract. And then you don't have those draft picks. It's just bad over in Denver. Saints are bad, but the Broncos situation is horrid. And this is what he left the Saints for. Yuck. So Gabe, you lose, man. I'm sorry. You my guy, but you lose. This was a bad move. This did not work out for you. Now, could you have dictated your draft order? No. I give you that. You couldn't have dictated this would happen. But I think when you go into something like this and you're gambling, you got to know what the odds are and think about what you currently have. The odds are not great that you're going to have a top 5 pick because there's a lot of people. There's half the league in there, right? So if there's half the league in there and you're fighting for a top 5 pick, your odds are not great already. Then you got to look at the team that you have. Your team's a decent overall. Was the team really the issue or was it you? And then you can determine, okay, am I going to make this work or am I going to run? You chose to run with the team that was decent, and you ended up with a trash team. I'm sorry, Gabe. You're a loser in this one. God bless you. That is unfreaking fortunate. Unfortunate. But let's circle back real quick because I want to talk about what I was kind of mentioning in regards to just the new landscape, the new faces and new places, whatever you want to call it. And I'm intrigued. That's the word I want to use. I'm intrigued because I see landscape changes and I love it. I love seeing it. I love seeing that the NFC North is probably going to be flipped to LB or possibly Turk. I love seeing it. I love seeing that the NFC East was a battle between Garl, Gomes, Nate, and now it's probably going to walk through Malik no matter what. I love seeing it. I love seeing the fact that the Cardia crew tried to assemble the freaking like division of Cardia death or whatever you want to call it, and then TRC came through like a wrecking ball. I love it. I love that. I love seeing it. I love seeing the fact that the AFC East is probably going to be between Guy and Cody and maybe the Miami Dolphins. Who knows? I feel like that's a very balanced division. I love seeing it. What I don't love seeing is what happens to the AFC West. I hate seeing that. Or I don't like seeing what happens to the AFC South. I don't like seeing that either. But it was bound to happen. All these different things were bound to happen. But I love seeing the turnover, the changes. I love seeing how different everything became. So I'm going to talk to y'all about who I think is going to win each division. We're not going to go in depth this time. I got plenty of podcasts to come. I got plenty of content to push out to y'all because y'all know I'm a content junkie. I love providing y'all the content. I love providing y'all the things to think about and hate me for. I love it. I love this. All right, y'all either gonna love me or hate me. I love providing this content for y'all. So I got stuff coming up for y'all. But right now, I'm just gonna pick who I think is probably gonna take each division. I'm not gonna say record. I'm not gonna say games won. None of that. I'm just gonna tell y'all who I think is the man in each division. So we're gonna start for the NFC North because I already alluded to that. LB is probably going to run with this division. The LB that I'm aware of. All right. Now, LB with the Cardinals was different. Like that was a little iffy. But LB with the Bears might be something different. I want to see it. I think LB can shine with that Bears team. So I want to see it. I think LB probably skips to my Lou with this division. Now, Turk is Turk. He's been playing well, but it's been a long layoff. Okay? I don't know. Last time I seen Turk with a long layoff, he got trounced by Jason in the playoffs. Who knows? Who knows which Turk we're going to get this time around? Me? I mean, shoot. Minnesota Vikings, I got to figure out my offense. I got offensive players, but I don't have an offense. I still know how to play defense, but my defense is a little different. I don't have the pieces that I had before. Jason, well, Jason, they seemingly patched the deep play, the deep pass. I don't know how that's going to play for him. LB might be still LB with a different team. So, I'm going to say LB. NFC East, I already alluded to that one too. That's Malik. I'm sorry, girl. I've seen Malik have your number over and over again. I think he still has your number, dog. I'm sorry. Gomes, it was fun while it lasted, Gomes. Nate, you might be the one surprise. I don't know how you're going to do with the better Giants team, but I'm pretty confident that Malik is going to run with this division. Now let's keep NFC going. NFC South. This one's easy. This one is still Chan. But what I like to see is that Chan is probably going to have multiple teams that are going to be competitive, with Mike and Bryce being in the division, if Bryce can shape it up. But before it was just Malik. But now you got two guys to contend with, which I don't think they're going to take over Chan or anything like that. Yes, Chan is working with the worst roster after the update. But I do think that having two other teams that are going to be competitive in that division is going to challenge Chan in a way that he hadn't been challenged this cycle yet. So I love to see it, but I still think Chan is still going to be the man in that division. NFC West. This is a fun one because I feel like you got two teams that are similar user ability, but they don't compare to the other two that are also similar in usability. I think my gut wants to say Pat Ladd is going to win this division, but I wouldn't be surprised if Zach won it, mainly because of how the roster's updated. I think Zach got blessed big time because that San Francisco defense is a freaking nightmare right now. And I also think Seahawks got blessed because that Seahawks team played outside of his mind. And he has a much better starting position with Geno Smith than he did before the cycle started. So I think Pat Ladd is going to win, but I would not be surprised if Zach overtook Pat Ladd. But that division is going to be fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to tune in for most of those games. Stacks has a better team, even though that Matt Stafford situation is going to be hectic. Oh, Lord, that Matt Stafford situation is just as bad as that Russell Wilson one. Go take a look at that when y'all can. It is bad. Now let's talk about the AFC North. This AFC North is going to be interesting. This is going to be fun. And I say this is going to be fun because if Julian can get his act right, you're probably going to have the best division right here. I think at this very moment, this is between... Oh, man. Nah, I can't say that. Man, because here's the issue. My heart says Ed, right? My heart says Ed and the Baltimore Ravens. But something in my gut is telling me Castro or TRC. I'm not going to say TRC, mainly because I have to see him with his new team. I have to see it first. And I'm not as familiar with TRC's gameplay as I am with Castro's. That's the only reason. Now, this does not mean Castro's better than TRC. No. This just means that I'm more familiar with what I've seen from Castro with different teams than I am with TRC. Castro is so boom or bust. It drives me crazy. Some games you watch of his and you're like, golly, Castro's on one. And then the other times you watch him, you're like, yo, Castro is kind of on one right now. What is he doing? So I feel like if we get good Castro most of the season, it could be him. Man, all right. I'm going to say Ed. I'm going to say Ed because consistency. There it is. That's a good answer. Ed because of consistency, but I wouldn't be surprised if Castro, maybe TRC, pulled out the stops, was able to also make the playoffs, maybe take the division too, if Ed's sleeping at the wheel, something. I don't know. I think Julian, if he can shape up, get his act together, maybe he can do something, but I have him probably for the rest of the cycle. No disrespect to Julian. That's just how I see it at the moment. Okay, AFC South. So this one became a red carpet. This one's a red carpet now. And this is no disrespect. No disrespect at all to AC at all. But Bird is first class right now. Now, long-term success and stuff, AC is just as accomplished as Bird. But right at this very moment, Bird is legit. Okay? Now, AC was playing well season 2, really well. But having to restart, he gets a little better roster and stuff. But Bird is really, really good. He's a really, really good user. So him playing with both Brad and Schwartz, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. So, Bird is probably going to dog walk both of them. No offense to Schwartz, no offense to Brad. That's just how it is. And then he's going to have some battles with AC, but I'm predicting that for the most part, probably 75%, maybe 80% of the time, Bird is going to win that matchup. So I think Bird is easily going to win this division, and that's that. No offense to AC again, because AC is him. He just, right at this very moment, Bird is a lot better, in my opinion. AFC West, this is the easy one. This is Q's division without fail. Krim might have fun dealing with Gabe, and Krim might have fun dealing with OG Walker, but I think Krim will be fine against those two. I don't foresee him overtaking the division from Q. So I think Q easily wins this division. I think that's an easy one. Now with the AFC East, this one has the makings of being the worst division or being one of the most entertaining. I don't know where I land yet. Guy looked like trash so far this cycle. Well, I won't say the cycle. Excuse me. Season 1, he shined. Season 2, I don't know what was going on with him. Maybe he was tanking. Maybe he was doing something different with his gameplay. I don't know. Regardless, though, Miami was looking good. But he has a spotty track record right now because we don't really know him. Meeks, uh, Meeks was kind of iffy with the Falcons. I thought he shined a lot more, but he's kind of underwhelming. And then Cody has moments of brilliance and then moments of what are you doing. So my pick for this one is going to be Guy, only because I think Guy has a better chance of shining with the Bills than Cody has with the Patriots. And that would be my 1 and 2, by the way. So if Cody had maybe the Dolphins, maybe I would change my mind to say Cody. But Cody has the Patriots, and I think that roster versus like the Bills and Guy at like actual good playing strength, I think Guy would probably win that one. Okay. So with all that said, and all these different teams and different places and everything like that, and all this stuff happening, I'm gonna tell you just real quick who I think my season 1 champion is gonna be. And I only think this because I've seen the reboot. I've seen funky stuff happening whenever you do restarts in a game. So I can only imagine that a reboot and a restart in a season is going to produce some really silly results. I think this champion is going to make sense to some of y'all, but it's not going to make sense to the rest of y'all. And my answer for this is Malik is going to get his elusive title with the Washington Commanders. And the only reason why I think that is because he has a very solid defensive front seven. And I think he's going to make the combination of Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuels, and Jahan Dotson. I think he's going to shine with those three. So I can see him winning this championship finally. I think he's going to be battle tested in that division. I think he's going to come out on top regardless. He's going to make the playoffs. He's going to walk through the playoffs, get to the NFC Championship and all that. Super Bowl. I'm not going to say he's going to be on the other side. I just think Malik, now's the time. Now's the time, Malik. Stop getting there and not winning. Now's the time. This is it. This is what I believe in. That's it. That's all. So, let's talk real quick. So, couple of house cleaning items. I've already sent a message to multiple people, as well as sent a group message to the entire league, just kind of detailing that if you don't have DL access, which is daddyleagues.com, if you don't have access, get on there, get your username set up, get your login set up, shoot that over to me. I'll get you added so that you can actually modify user your team on the website. Let's see. Oh, if you're not aware, we're going to be using sliders again, just like last time. They haven't been inputted yet. I know I probably showed them, and they probably all look like generic. Those are going to be modified, so don't even look at those yet. You have access to go see those whenever you want. All right? It's not some big secret. Don't look to me to send you pictures of the sliders. Don't ask me questions. Don't ask nobody questions. Just go look. All right? Once we get started, go take a look. Preseason, the idea is to not run a full preseason. The idea is to quickly and expedite the whole thing. Get through it. Hurry up. Select your players that you want to progress in development traits, like I mentioned before. For the people that don't have any superstars or superstar X factors, pick your 2 players that you want to progress to superstar. Like we're trying to get back into meaningful gameplay. That is our goal to y'all, for y'all, is to get to meaningful gameplay, get back to the stuff that matters, so that we can get back, not on schedule because we're already off schedule like twice over, but so that we can get back to something that matters, okay? And that's these week 1, week 2 through week 18 games and getting to the playoffs. That's what matters. All this preseason stuff, we're skipping it. But we still need y'all to cut y'all players. We still need y'all to sign your players and all that stuff. We're not doing it yet, so don't go in here and go crazy, okay? Wait for Q's signal, but just know we're not trying to waste time with the preseason, okay? So that answers that question, because I've received that question like 3 times. Are we playing preseason, or what are we doing preseason? There it is. We're trying to expedite things, so hurry up, get your stuff in. Hurry up and sign into the league. I think everybody has now, and we're going to expedite this. We're going to run through it. Shoot, is there anything else? I think that's it, man. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, listen, we're back. I'm sorry for the delay. We did what we could. We stopped. We had to wait. EA had to get their stuff together because one thing we didn't want to do is do what we're doing now and then have it all wiped away again after that update came last week or whatever. That was something we did not want to happen because EA would be good for it. If we had restarted immediately after we saw that the league was unavailable, it's very possible we'd be restarting again right this moment, and a lot of y'all would not be here. So that's why we waited. That's why we're here now, and I'm grateful that all of y'all have joined back in. I hope y'all can get locked back in, and we can get back to some meaningful games, get back to having fun, and get back to playing Madden. So, with all that being said, I thank y'all for joining me this evening. Shout out to y'all for being here. I got nothing but love for y'all, especially the Canadians and the Asians. God bless y'all, and I will see y'all when I see y'all. One Cut Podcast is out.